Hi, this is Sandra. Welcome to Lee Street B, and I'm here with T the Man. What's up, T?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, real good. What about yourself?
Yeah. Well, we're glad to be back. We're here on a Friday. We'll have a segment coming up where we'll have S. Acker. She's not able to be with us here today, but we really want to talk about, John Robert Lewis. Yesterday, his funeral was here, and I think we all kind of watched it, and we really were able to realize how giant of a man that he was. I was definitely, touched by the ceremony, and I think we just need to take a little bit of time, T, and just talk about what that meant to us. I know that you watched it, and from beginning to end, man. Just tell me, like, how did you feel?
I guess the word that I want to use is that I felt inspired. I felt hopeful. I felt a deep sense of gratitude for John Lewis and the sacrifices that he made for us and us as African Americans. And even though a lot of people don't want to admit it, but he made sacrifices maybe for other minorities too, like Hispanic people. And
for humankind, really. For humankind.
So John Lewis was a man, and I guess as, they said that, he was described as a saint. But, saints are mortal men. They have flaws, but he was doing the right thing. He tried to do what was fair. He tried to do what was right. He tried to do what was just. And that's hard to understand maybe in today's climate because we have, well, not me and you have a leader, but some people follow this cult figure and put upon him the title as a leader. And he believes in none of those tenets. He doesn't believe in the tenets of being good.
You mentioned the so-called leader who did not go and see and pay respects to Mr. John Lewis. Here's a person who is so small, who is so self-absorbed, who is so narcissistic that they cannot get out of their own way to understand that a legend has passed. This is someone who will never pass again. This is someone who has changed humanity. And for him to, merely just put out a very, very brief statement regarding the death of John Lewis, him not going and paying tribute. And then on top of that, sending Mitch McConnell, really? That was a slap in the face as well, for him to be there. But you know what, talking about John Lewis, growing up, my dad's from Alabama, your father's from Alabama. We have history with Alabama. Always, seeing John Lewis, as a kid on the west side of Chicago, Martin Luther King came to speak at a church around the corner from us. And I actually did see Martin Luther King, and so did, my family. So that's a great memory that I'll always have as a kid, and just remember my father saying to me when I asked him who we were going to see, said, we're going to go see a great man. But, John Lewis was a great man, and he really did a lot from a legislative standpoint to help us after he had, paved that long road of going out there and protesting. And so what we saw yesterday at the funeral were 3 presidents there to eulogize him. And of course, Jimmy Carter and his wife, they were unable to attend. They're in their 90s when COVID-19. But how did you feel about the speech from George Bush? He's a C student, but how did you feel about his speech?
Well, what, George Bush may be a C student, but you know what? I'm gonna give him a B+. One of the first things, and I text you during this, when George Bush was giving his speech and praise to John Lewis, 2 things stood out. One, George Bush has class. He said that I disagree with John Lewis. He disagreed with me, but I respected him. He respected me. Can't say that about the current occupant. The second thing is George Bush is supposed to have dyslexia. George Bush can read.
And now, he doesn't read. He doesn't read a speech like he just seen it for the first time.
Right. This one here, he talking about he knows everything. He's so smart. He can do everything. He cannot read. And I'm telling you, Sandra, just because you pronounce the words in sequential order does not make you reading. Just like I see the sign behind you and it says Lee Street B podcast, that's not reading. That's me saying Lee Street Beat podcast. When I'm reading, I'm saying Lee Street Beat podcast. I know what that is because it has meaning to it. You know, there's reflection in the way you read. George Bush has reflection in the way he reads. Barack Obama is a great orator, so we know he knows how to read. But Donald Trump, Lee Street Beat podcast. And his new favorite words are man, woman, child, TV, camera. That's not even on the test.
It's not on the
test.
He
made that up. That's only 5 words that he can remember.
All right, let me bring you back.
I'm so through with them. You know, I don't know what it is that people want to follow stupidity. Let me tell you something. If somebody is dumber than you, do not take advice from them.
Exactly.
Do not take advice from them.
All right, T. Let me take you back to some might have said he was the first Black president, but I just want to talk a little bit about and share with you and you with me about Bill Clinton's speech. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. Bill Clinton, he really just touched my heart by listening to Bill Clinton's speech. You know, again, you know, agree with you. You know, George Bush is certainly a much better orator than what we have. I mean, we can agree that most third graders have better vocabulary and you know, able to articulate themselves better. So that's hands down. But I really did enjoy the heartfelt story that Bill Clinton gave. And I really like the subsequent people after him, especially the people that work with John Lewis. They really, really gave great stories and made me understand him even better.
They gave excellent things. You know, Bill Clinton is like a storyteller, a historical storyteller. He goes back, he winds way back. You know, I remember John and these chickens, you know, and he just brings it back to, I mean, you just get relaxed. But I'm gonna tell you the most funniest thing I saw when Bill Clinton first walked up on the pulpit and walked up there to the microphone, and he started congratulating, you know, all the I would say that you know, the presidents and all the officials. Mm-hmm. When he saw Keisha Lance Bottoms, he said, "And Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms." I said, "Bill still got that player streak going in him."
Yeah, you did say that. You know, I was looking at Keisha and I was looking at her husband as well because, you know, he had lost 20 pounds. You know, she had reported with COVID. And, you know, just on a side note, you know, I did like to see that she and Brian Kemp were together the day before when John Lewis laid in state there in the rotunda. Them putting aside, you know, their differences and coming together and honoring John Lewis. But again, you know, going back to the funeral, had a really great lineup for singing. Jennifer Holliday, I mean, she shut it down. She sang and really, really touched my heart. I think that, you know, John Lewis has really got a great sense of music, you know, because he had Jennifer there to sing. Also, Marvin and BB One is two of my favorite singers that I listen to all the time. And he wrote a song and it said that, you know, good trouble, you know, so I just thought that was very creative.
That was a fitting tribute to her. And, you know, yeah. I didn't, you know, when I was looking at one of the cable channels, I won't mention his name, so they didn't have a lower thirds to know who it was. So I'm hearing this woman sing and I said, I recognize the sound, but who is she? Because I haven't seen Jennifer Holliday in so long. You know, I actually met her before she had this weight loss, you know. And
yeah, I mean, she lost weight like 15 years ago. So
yeah, but I mean, it's been that long since I seen her, you know.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen her, you know. I said, "Who's this woman?" I said, "Wow, you know, I don't, you know."
Yeah, but that voice,
But then I changed to another station, and I said, "Oh, that's Jennifer Holliday." Yeah, well, I said he got somebody good. She can sing that song. Any song that he want sung for his homecoming, she can do it. You know, I'm glad that he picked her.
So let's get on and talk about, you know, why, even though I was watching a funeral yesterday, I felt my heart just swell up because I was able to hear from Barack Obama. Barack Obama, he quieted the country while he eulogized John Lewis. He also was able to bring in the spirit of John Lewis by calling out the hypocrisy of the GOP and Donald Trump with what they're doing to voting rights, and then paralleling that with John Lewis's life and his legacy and what he stood for and what he fight for, and juxtapose that to what's actually going on in the United States right now, and talking about how this goes against everything that John Lewis stood for. And therefore, no, Donald Trump, you should not have been there, because you are doing everything to dismantle everything that that man lived and died for.
You know, I couldn't have said it better. You took the words that I was going to use. So, not being redundant, you're absolutely right. John Lewis is going to be a figure. He's going to be revered as history is being written as we speak. Donald Trump is going to come across looking what he is, a very weak man, a man who's done nothing but cause hate, dissension, and chaos. He takes his instructions from our enemies, and he relishes that. He doesn't believe that American life is sacred. In fact, he doesn't believe any life is sacred. You know, a small child, because he's Hispanic, had no choice in his birth, he throws these babies in cages. It's okay. He deports children, 3, 4 years old, send them back across the border to be exploited, and all
does everything he can to go to court and take away all their rights. And they're there on that border, and COVID is running through that border like nobody's business, and nobody's talking about it.
The good thing about the border, and you know, with him and his wall, and if you can find a good thing, that COVID don't go through that still. So it's mostly on this side of the border rather than that side. But it's on that side.
But T, the wind blew down some of the border, some of the water just very recently, man. It knocked down some of that, man. So I don't.
I know.
Hey,
you know what the irony of it is?
The water came down, so I got the mask up now, man, because it went down.
I know. The irony of it is, any other given time, if the border wall came down, they would run across this side. They didn't. They called to the United States Border Patrol. Hey, your wall is down. Build it back up. We do not want COVID on this side. Build that wall back up. And this time, Mexico was willing to pay for it.
I mean, but it's not. It just started. Hurricane season just started. By the time like October, it'll be just rubble. You know, it's like, I mean, it's like, I don't know, T. You know what? I just wanted to talk a little bit about Herman Cain. Herman Cain.
999. That number is no longer in service.
Okay. Mr. 999. He was at the Trump rally, the last rally. Right. He was sitting in the black section of the rally. They all sat there maskless.
Right.
He also, tweeted out that, they were there at the rally and that they were, maskless, and that, everything was fine. Needless to say, a week later, he was diagnosed with COVID. He's a patient who's had quadruple bypass surgery. So needless to say, he's a, high risk patient, and he has passed with COVID. Got me.
All I can say is, Herman Cain would have probably been living a lot longer if he hadn't listened to his foolish friend, Donald Trump, and went to that rally without his mask. Now, everybody's sitting around with him. Apparently, I know they're getting tested because they have to have some kind of fear that they may.
They were testing their temperatures.
Yeah, well, he might have walked in there with no temperature. He might have walked out with no temperature. But the fact of the matter is, he was in that kind of enclosed environment, and he's had all these health issues with bypass. He's the last person should have been at a Trump rally. But, he want to go there, and now him, like Bin Laden, will no longer walk this earth.
And that's that same rally that they had put signs on the seats to have people social distance, and they showed them just taking the signs off, just taking them off. You could just sit right where you want to sit. It's serendipity. I have to say that, it's tough to, you know, not feel cynical about the hypocrisy of these people who tout all of these conspiracy theories and act like for some reason that they don't understand that all they got to do is Google what the hell is the characteristic of a virus and that this thing is bigger than us. You know what? I did like Godfather's Pizza. I just want to say that I was upset when they closed it in Villa Rica because I used to stop on the way from Alabama and get me one, you know what I'm saying? It was always worth it. But you know what? I just, you know, the people that were sitting in that section, I hope that they all are, you know, getting themselves tested.
No. I'm not hoping that. You know what? You believe in your imperial leader. Follow him. Go ahead and get that. I can't even pronounce the word.
Well, you know what? I want to say this too. You know, it should not go unnoticed that he did speak upon the death of Herman Cain. He spoke more about that than he did of John Lewis.
Yeah. Well,
you know, go figure. Go figure.
You know, haters gonna hate. You know, I'm just gonna say, I think when Donald Trump day of demise come, it's not gonna be that we gonna celebrate the way we celebrated John Lewis. I think his will be a very simple, private ceremony, and we're gonna try to put him as an asterisk in time and says he was here, he's gone, and we're glad.
Yeah, you know what? It's very possible that, you know, there won't be that crowd out there for Inauguration Day. I don't expect Donald Trump to be there for Inauguration Day. I expect for him and Melania to duck out like the dogs they are and, you know, tuck those tails and, you know, get on whichever plane, this Air Force One or the Trump plane or whatever, and just head on to Florida down there with you, you know, and give y'all hell, you know, and that you can go stay up in that rat-infested Mar-a-Lago, you know, with all those people that he's gotten there that, you know.
You know what, anyway, I thought me and you was
bed bugs.
I thought you was friends, and you send this bed bug roach down here. We got enough.
You know what? He ran to you when they kicked his butt out of New York. He don't want to see that Black Lives Matter when he get up in the morning in his robe and look out at his gold house. He's like, no, and he know no matter what, he go. Rick DeSantis ain't gonna let them put no Black Lives Matter in front of his door over there in Florida. But yeah, they got him so messed up he can't even go back there and pack. He probably got to send people to go pack.
I know David Luke has told him there's always a place of a warm heart for him in Mississippi.
Oh, you know it, man. You got it, man. You know what? The love for him in Mississippi is just overwhelming. It really is. You know what? I just wanted to mention a little bit about Brian Kemp. There's a statue of Alexander Stevens that hangs in the National Statuary Hall. And he's talking about replacing that with the statue of John Lewis. So, you know, here in Georgia, we just came from like a week or so ago with Brian Kemp saying that he was taking Keisha Lance to court for asking that it be mandatory in the Atlanta area that people wear masks. Now, there's a lot of different, you know, cities that have also said the same thing, and he didn't take them to court. But the day before the court case was to go to be heard, he withdrew it. So, you know, so I don't know if he's trying to make up with us, you know, by putting the statue in. There's a lot of racist statues around here, you know. I mean, if he gonna start replacing statues, that's a start. You know,
well, you know,
there's a lot of black figures that he can replace it with. That's right here from Atlanta.
one of the things is, you know, he went against the grain because when he Trump's picked for senator, he picked what's her name, Kelly Loeffler or whatever her name is, and so Trump has already ticked about that. So that's why he hasn't weighed in more on this controversy. So Brian Kemp was kind of on his own. So. I think
but he's still in lockstep with Trump, and then Trump, like, you know, kind of, you know, left him out in the cold when he told him, you know, oh, go ahead and reopen, and then, you know, he said, no, you shouldn't reopen. You know what? This whole Kelly Loeffler thing, we're sick of her. WNBA is sick of her. She's proud owner of them. She's talking about that they shouldn't be wearing Black Lives Matter. You know, I guess they have T-shirts or whatever that they're wearing. They shouldn't be supporting it. As you can know, like, baseball's opened up, basketball's opened up. Everybody's taking a knee. The whole team's taking a knee. The refs are taking a knee. Everybody's taking a knee. And I just want to say this too real quick, man. I just saw something today about they're thinking about shutting down baseball. I saw them last night and playing basketball, giving each other high fives. I know that they're all in the bubble and everything like this, and they're saying that hockey's starting up. I don't think it's going to last, man. I don't think baseball's going to last, and I don't think basketball's going to last.
Well, basketball, here at the moment is the most of the players are predominantly Black. So a lot of them take it serious with their health. So when they say, of course, there's always exceptions, that, this corona, they believe that there is a coronavirus. There's not no naysayers and saying it's a hoax. We got maybe a few flat earthers out there, but they believe this corona.
LeBron will tell them.
Yeah,
It's real.
Yeah, so they want their money. They're gonna try to put on the best game they can because they're getting big money. When you're getting $20 million a year, and sometimes you play for stadiums that are empty, don't have your fans, especially an away game. And I think that's how they're looking at it. We're playing at another stadium, like a away game, but I'm gonna get paid, and I'm gonna put on a good show so I can keep getting paid. And if that,
I'm not sure which sport it is, but they're pumping in clapping or whatever on one of the sports. I'm not sure which one it is, but I just want to say those cardboard people in the audience.
Well, what they need is a hologram of Spike Lee out there running out there hollering and screaming. LeBron.
There's a technology like we can do that. We need Drake over on the side or something,
Yeah, that's what they need.
Yeah, where the celebrities at?
They need to make this a full. They're in Disney. They can make that full production show, and have everybody out there and have holograms out there and maybe have a little, at halftime, when they have breaks, they can have virtual cheerleaders,
Exactly.
Get out there or show a little clips and, just kind of pump them up and get them going a little good.
Well, I understand that, it's all about the money, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, if it starts to get pervasive and if people, the thing about it is that, everything's all good till somebody dies. Okay. When a baseball player dies, if one of these sports figures dies, then it's all bets off, So I just don't, because they've already had cases in each of these sports where, they tested positive. So I just, I'm not gonna lie. I hope that I hope they stay safe, man. I hope they stay safe.
Well, I do too. I'm hoping that they stay safe. Earlier we did a podcast with S. Hacker and this educator, and it was quite an interesting interview, to say the least. One of the things that came out that he was very talented, and he played 12 musical instruments.
Yeah, he plays a lot of instruments. Yeah, he's like the modern day Prince.
Yeah. So, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you some of that interview. And the question, because I love your question that you asked them. There's 24 hours in a day, and you play 12 instruments each 1 hour. Where do you get the time? His answer is, well, put it like that. The math don't add up, but that's okay.
Hey, you know me. Hey, this is Sandra at Lee Street Beat, and I'm here with T the Man and S Hacker, and we have a guest, De'Ante Huffman. How y'all doing today?
We're doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, man, you know what? I'm doing good. I'm glad that we're back, and we're so happy to have De'Ante. De'Ante is a teacher, and he teaches in the metro area of Birmingham, Alabama, and we just want to say thank you, man, and, for coming to the show, man.
I am glad to be here. I'm very excited. This is really cool. So, yeah, I'm glad to answer any questions that you have for me.
teaching now in this age of COVID, and we have an opportunity to talk to somebody who can tell us about how he is moving and maneuvering in this COVID environment, and how many students you have and how you're able to still reach out to those students. So tell us a little bit about, your background and how you're doing in this process.
Okay. My name is De'Ante Huffman. I'm originally from Montgomery, Alabama. I'm a product of Montgomery Public Schools. I have an autistic twin brother, so that's one reason why I went into teaching. Music, through me playing music, it kind of helped my brother a lot. Like, we would come up songs and it would help him remember stuff. So I actually taught my brother multiplication through music.
But you ended up playing so many instruments. How did you get introduced to so many instruments, man? Tell me how many instruments you play.
I play 12.
12 instruments?
Yes.
Well, let me ask you. So you play saxophone, I'm assuming. Do you play the piano?
I do.
Keyboards?
I do. I play saxophone. Pretty much everything that I teach my students, I know how to play. I can play it. I'm getting better on it every day. I try to practice on each instrument at least an hour a day. At least an hour a day. I practice on my saxophone mostly because
you got 24 hours in your day like everybody else, right? Because that's 12 hours right there, bro.
I mean,
that's already like done. You ain't slept, you ain't bathed, you ain't,
I mean, I'm an insomniac. I am a type of person that love the environment. So, I don't be stank, but my showers ain't long. I don't really sleep much. So I've always been that I'm going to figure out how to do this. I'm going to work at it. Like, I was practicing my instruments. Sometimes I practice my instruments 3-4 times a day if I got the time, if I'm not dealing with my students. And yeah, I just found it. I was like, I want to learn how to do this. I've always been that type of person. If I see something and I like it and I want to learn how to do it, I'm going to figure out how to do it. And I'm always trying to be the best at it.
Introduced to all of these different instruments in your young life. I mean, was it through, all through school? Was it some of it through church?
Really, it's a mixture of all of it. First of all, Mr. Arrington, like I said, was my very first band teacher. Everything I wanted to learn, he was like, I'm gonna teach to you. Then I had the same thing with my high school band director. His name was Mr. I had two. I had one named Mr. Langford and one named Mr. Smart. With both of those band directors, whatever I wanted to learn, they gave me the information. I figured it out. I went on YouTube. I looked up how to figure it out. I was like, oh, I can do this. It's kind of similar. When I got to college, I had two band directors again. I had Mr. Snipes and Mr. Merriweather. And this was at Mile. And I kid you not, Mr. Snipes was like, I want you to play contrabass clarinet. Contrabass clarinet is like a clarinet that's like 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall. You have to play it on a little stool. He's like, I buy this instrument, you gonna learn how to play it. I said, yeah.
I like numbers. I'm good with numbers.
So, what was one more thing? Oh, the biggest thing is, or kind of funny music thing was, Claudia Conway. You remember Claudia Conway, Kellyanne and George Conway's daughter?
Oh yeah. The 15-year-old who had her Twitter disabled.
Right.
Had her phone taken away.
right. She was on Twitter, and Claudia and somebody, and she said, "AOC, please adopt me."
Yeah, you know what? It's gotta be a rough campaign living in that house.
Right. Yeah,
And a teenager and loving AOC, because everybody loves AOC. Right.
Yeah, it is. And somebody asked her, "Are you gonna still have your phone after this?" And she said, "I doubt it."
Not a chance. Before we go, I just wanted to mention this Dr. Emmanuel, who came out with this video touting that, coronavirus has a cure. And she came out with a white coat and had a bunch of people behind her. And she also espoused
that's Barron Trump's pediatrician.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
after all, he was conceived.
I know she's a pediatrician.
He was conceived with demon seed. We know
okay.
that.
Okay. Well, definitely, she does espouse that one of the reasons why women have problems is because says that hydrochloroquine works. She's used it on a number of different patients, and she also says that there is a cure. So you know what, people are going out and they were sending this, and you know what, I actually went out on my fan page today, and because there's another one coming out, because they certainly came out and took it down, and I was sent it twice, and when it came over, I looked at him, I was like, really? Because anything that's telling me not to wear a mask is ridiculous, and I'm just not going to listen to it. I mean, that's just absolutely ground zero. And so this doctor, I get upset because Black people and brown people are dying, and we're so easily misled, and we pass around this disinformation, and we do no research at all. Again, like you said, she's a pediatrician. Her being a pediatrician means she's not an infectious disease doctor. If you're not listening to Dr. Fauci, if you're not listening to the CDC, then you need to understand that these other people are out here gaslighting you. There is money out here to be made. These people are damn near the Tea Party that came out with this video. I mean, she is crazy with a lot of the things that she says, and then when you ask Donald Trump about it, he says, well, I don't know, I just think she's a good doctor. It's like, really? I need you to be best.
Well, listen, when she says that alien DNA, demons, having demons when you sweat at night, you're having sex.
Yeah, but Tender, you can't prove that it's not true.
Well, I'm not trying to prove it's not true. I don't believe it is. I believe that some people have had sex with demons and they have demons.
No, but she said sex with demons in their sleep. So to a certain extent, it could be unbeknownst to them.
Right. Well, that's it. They sleep, sleep like that. But everybody I know, when you kind of shake them a little bit, they wake up. Now, you might sleep like you in a coma, but I'm not sleeping like I'm in a coma.
Hey, don't put me in this.
This
okay,
this
no.
ain't one of them Michael Jackson's where I take what's that stuff he took, video or whatever he took to get that rest.
Oh God, don't.
Yeah. When you sleeping like that, you might not wake up, but normally, you shake them. You wake up, and you kind of look around like, what's going on? You waking me up, And then I'm telling you, if I get shook and something shaking me, and I look around and I don't see nothing, and I see like a little mist, a ghost thing up there in my bed, and my wife ain't there, I'm gone. You hear me? I am gone. I ain't sticking around.
Well, you know what? I'm tired of, people, talking about this, and there's so many conspiracy theories that these people, they continue to hurt each other by just passing it along and not looking at anything what they're about. There's this doctor named Sherry Tenpenny. She says face masks are not effective against COVID-19. How masks are being used to control the population. And so I kind of, went in on this whole headline, but I just wanted to say this. She is a, I looked it up. She's a osteopathic doctor, and she's an anti-vaccination activist. So obviously, really, I'm going to listen to her about an infectious disease?
Listen, there are plenty of doctors that are quack. When you go there and you look at them, you wonder how they come up with this crazy stuff, Look
at Donald Trump's doctor that he had.
Yeah.
It's akin to this type of practice, so to speak.
You know what? That just tells you that the governing bodies that license these doctors need to crack down on them.
They do. I'm just, and you know what? You shouldn't be out here talking about things that you don't know nothing about. And acting like it's truth, because we got people dying.
It's outside their skill set. It's outside their wheelhouse.
Absolutely, it's not in their purview.
I don't know what these doctors is talking, because we got veterinarians that saying tigers and other animals are getting this virus. And so I know it's true, you know, so.
Yeah, it's.
And
they're continuing to learn about it more all the time, you know. They're learning about it more all the time. But you got people like this out here spewing this disinformation, and it just breaks my heart, because it's just like, out of all of the people who really need to be aware and awake, we're the ones who are really going through it the most, and we're the least informed, but we the first one to put that stuff and send it out there and ain't did nothing. I mean, I haven't looked at anything. It's like, are you kidding me? And anytime they start out these little things, talk about send this, before they take it down, there's some stuff they don't want you to know. It's always something from the dark web. It's always something from Breitbart. It's always something, some right-wing conspiracy theorists. And that's how they get these people. And they run around. I says, because you feel some kind of way about wearing a mask, you are out here running around trying to find something that's going to support that, instead of understanding that none of us want to wear a mask, but that we understand that this is the way that we need to move in this world so that we can eradicate this disease, this virus.
The only time you have to wear the mask is when you're out in public around people you don't know. I mean,
you know what? Yeah.
It's just like a cop going to work and say, hey, I need to put my vest on because I might get shot. I don't know who has a gun. I'm gonna put my vest on. It's a safety measure, you know. But hey,
it's just like wearing a seatbelt at this point. You know what I mean?
If they don't want to wear a mask, they can dial 999, and we know where that goes. All right, this is Lee Street Beat, T the Man, and Sandra Tucker speaking for S Hacker. She's not here today, but listen, everybody, be safe. Wear your mask like your life depends on it.
Wash your hands.
It does. Wash your hands. You know, with soap and water. If you got a face shield like Sandra, put it on.
Put it on.
The thing about this virus is, you do not know if you have it until you get it. And once you get it, because it won't be your effects right away, it's a slow thing. You know, you go out 4 or 5 days, you're feeling great. Day 6, you ain't feeling so well. Day 7, you can't move out of bed. Listen, so we've had relatives that actually died from this virus. We know people right now who's being quarantined in place. They said this is the worst thing that happened to them. They're trying to survive it, and they're supposed to have a mild case of it. So bottom line is, me, myself personally, I'm gonna do all I can to protect me and my family. We're gonna wear a mask. I'm
wear a mask, and we staying in as much as possible.
On the side of caution and common sense. No, that's it. But until next time, bye-bye.